What is up, comic fam? Happy Tuesday. It's day one of the 48-hour event known as New Comic Book Day. It happens every week depending on where you live. It either starts today or tomorrow. If you're lucky, like myself, it kicks off today. So we're going to be looking at a large release of DC comic books. And there's some major hitters that dropped this week as well. Some big things even happening in them. But before we do any of that, check this out. All right, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up. And let's get right into it. But first, I do want to remind everybody, this coming Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on the channel, myself and DJ Links will be giving away a first appearance of Miles Morales, Ultimate Fallout 4 CGC graded in a 9.4. This is the big event that we've been working on for a couple of months, and it's finally wrapping up. And this coming Sunday will be the day. And if you are not in on that giveaway, be sure to come hang out, chit chat and talk. There'll be some live giveaways as well for people that are in attendance. So it's not just going to be the people that are included in that. And today we are joined by none other than Mr. Flo. What is happening?
How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling really good. This is
good.
Fantastic week for comics.
Yeah, I just read this. This is amazing.
I have not read that one yet. Is that the first one that you read out of the stack?
Yeah. The other ones honestly were like variants, so it was cover buys. Gotcha. And then I read them digitally.
Oh, smart. Yeah. Today, a lot of times on Tuesdays, I'll get up early and I'll read as much as I possibly can digitally before the house wakes up while it's still nice, quiet, and peaceful. Then I'll just go pick them up. And like last week, I almost forgot everything I read because I read it all back to back on a sliding screen. But this week, I didn't read anything this morning. I started really at the LCS. Read Dark Crisis, Flashpoint Beyond. Read Batman, read Killing Time. But there's a lot to go over. But appreciate you coming. I'm glad to have you here. For those that don't know, Flo is 50% of the Bada Boom podcast. You guys follow or listen to podcasts, be sure to check out the Bada Boom podcast on all major platforms where podcasts casts.
I did get this. The second printing is awesome.
Dope. Yeah. That Dan Mora cover.
Then I had to get another Dan Mora, the Red Canary cover.
And that's the Dark Crisis, right?
Yeah. I thought it was like a incentive. So I was like, when I saw it on the shelf as like a regular cover, I was like, I might buy two of these.
The incentive was awesome for that. We're going to get into all that here shortly. Thank you, Finn. Do I have to wear it? Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see if it'll fit on my head.
It does.
Perfect. Knuckles. Thank you. So getting into it, well, let's say hey to some people. Atlas Crucius in here. What's going on, my man? Paul, hello from the LCS. Chop and Drop. Dale with Suspense. Mr. Alan Rue himself is up in the building. Appreciate you people's popping in. All right. So you showed it off already. Aquaman Andromeda. I picked up the same cover as you did.
Dude, it's so good. Christian Ward and Rom-V are like a perfect match. It's Event Horizon meets... It's so many things at once.
Yeah, this Christian Ward covers are phenomenal. And they're doing like those, it's not semi-gloss, it's partial gloss covers. You can see the bubbles coming out of his sword are glossed out of their mind there. But it's super dope. I haven't read this one yet, so without getting into spoilers, what do you think of it?
It's cool because you get a little bit more insight into the thing they're looking into. You know, what they think is an alien. It's not fully revealed what it is, but it's cool the way Aquaman comes in and out of the story. I'll just say that.
Perfect. Yeah, feel free to spoil anything that comes before this issue. But yeah,
I don't think the first issue is really like set up. So it's not too much to spoil, but it's a cool premise.
Real quick, I do want to throw this out there because this was in a previous video with stuff that I did, but this is like new DC Day video, so it fits perfectly.
2 seconds.
What was it?
I'm gonna go throw that away.
No, I don't want to throw that away. I refill it. Go lay down, homie. Go lay down, homie.
What is that?
Here, go. So this came out in a video that I released earlier this week, but for those that don't know or didn't see that video, this Black Adam is the comic that's included with the McFarlane Page Punchers, the deluxe Page Punchers. It is an original comic. It's a one-shot that features the 4 characters on the front there that they made the figures of: Black Adam, Constantine, Superman, and Batman. So if you
Is that a Bermejo?
It is a Bermejo cover, and even the figures are designed after his style of artwork. So it's actually super dope.
Dope. And what's the who wrote the story?
It says Snyder on the front, but it's not Scott Snyder. I think it was like Carl Snyder or something like that. Somebody I had never heard of.
They got to specify on that cover.
they like, give me somebody with the last name Snyder. Kevin Scott. Yeah. Kevin Scott wrote it.
That's dope.
Yeah, we'll plan on diving into that one this week. I normally don't take the comics out of stuff like that, but I opened that one. I'm like, dude, the same. I think it's the same comic in all of them. And I saw that the black and white version of Black Adam that's coming out has a different looking comic in it. So it is even credited in this cover that that's the same book with a different cover that's going to be with that Black Adam figure.
I mean, they're really doing a lot with that that DC exclusive license. Like, they basically took over DC Direct and was like, "Hey, we'll make this a lot more accessible and easier to get."
Yeah.
Because
and they're doing a lot with it too, though. And if you go on his site, you'll see a lot of that stuff. Like I'll even look at some of it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of lame. Why'd they make that? And I'll go look on their site and it's sold out and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, somebody liked it.
Yeah, that DC stuff, you used to have to go to a comic store or order it online from DC Direct, where they had like their catalog and stuff. But now you go into like Walmart's, Targets. You can't even find the ones you want now.
Yeah. Now I'm still hunting the Owlman, the Starro Build-A-Figure Owlman. I had somebody come across the Superwoman, the Crime Syndicate ones that they're doing.
Yeah.
But they're tapped out here locally. I found out while I was on vacation is when they hit my local area. I've come back from vacation. The Targets are being remodeled. Their entire store is outside with shipping containers in the parking lot. And that's both local stores here at the same time. It's trash.
That's crazy. They must have got a bunch of money or something and was like, hey, we got a bunch of cash. We're going to renovate both of these stores.
Next up, now, are you reading Dark Crisis?
I was going to wait till it's all collected because, to be honest, I had missed Incarnate. I had missed a couple of the lead-ups, so I felt like I've been collecting the main Crisis. I have the free comic book day. I've got Young Justice. I have the Flash, but I haven't been reading it because I'm like, I'm just going to wait till it's all collected or have it all together.
Well, shameless plug here. There's a chance you could win the entire event, all tie-ins, all everything.
On what channel is that?
2815. Myself, I go over there with Mr. Paul Cook, and we do a Dark Crisis deep dive. And at the end of it all, we'll be giving away an entire Dark Crisis event giveaway. Probably some other stuff too. But yeah.
It's funny you bring that up because I recently watched an episode of that, and didn't you have someone on there, a very special guest recently?
Yeah, Jeremy Adams was on there, the guy who's writing Flash and Flashpoint Beyond.
Also writer of the upcoming Battle of the Super Sons.
Yeah, he does a lot with the television and film. I had no idea. How, like, that was his like kind of foot in the door. He started in film stuff. I mean, he's writing though. He's not like behind a camera, he's still a writer. I thought that was phenomenal. But Dark Crisis, issue number 3 of 7. This is supposed to be rebranded Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, I guess, starting with the next issue.
Yeah. Is that Pariah there?
That is definitely Pariah. He's your bad guy in this. And so this isn't a spoiler, but so I'm going to say it. So this cover right here. Hey, look, Austin's in the chat. What's going on, Austin? Appreciate you stopping by. So the C cover, maybe the B cover, one of the subsequent covers has none other than the Justice Society of America in their almighty return to continuity. Finally, these guys have been gone since New 52. They've been teasing them with events like Doomsday Clock or a one-shot last year. We know that Jeff Johns had planned to do a series and it got kicked down the road. Nothing against the society. It was just the plans didn't work out with everything going on. And finally, the JSA are back. I don't know in what capacity or how long they'll be back, but this cover says that they are back, and so does the inside of the book.
I think definitely the Black Adam movie helped.
Because I checked. All 4 cast members from the movie are on the cover. Adam Smasher, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and Cyclone. They're all.
Maybe hopefully we get a reference to Alan Scott. That would be cool if they do that in the Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
And then
they got to be holding back something, right? Jay Garrick, Adam Scott. There's got to be like one of those references. Look what happened to Alan and Jay. Why? That's why they're not here today. Like.
Yeah, or you see Amanda Waller with a bunch of files with people's names on it and stuff like that. No, it's dope. I recently as I was putting together my the mystery boxes, I had found an issue of Justice Society, which is a pretty cool cover. I'll grab it right here.
Love to see it.
Okay.
And lastly, for Dark Crisis, I do throw this one up here real quick. I did get the 1 in 25 ratio for that one because it's that gang goodness. Can't beat it. Oh, yeah, that's the Jeff Johns run.
Yeah.
That's what is she's 28?
This is 16.
Oh, that's low. That's a variant cover then. Like a B cover.
5 minutes, Grayson. He wants to play his PS5.
How old is he?
No, he's 3.
Man, you teach him young.
Yeah, we don't have an N64, so I can't teach him that.
Yeah.
He loves his video games.
Yeah, is that the Jeff Johns run?
Yeah, it is. I don't know who did the cover. Obviously this is not one of the Ross covers. Maybe Rollins? Who is it? I don't know, but it's a dope Black Adam. He's super brolic in it, and I was like, I didn't even know I had this. I was just digging up the cool stuff, and I'm like, I'm definitely not putting this in a box. I'm keeping this.
If you ever get an opportunity to read that run in any capacity, you definitely should. It's phenomenal.
It's queued up on my Infinite. Especially the last thing I did a deep dive on Infinite was Jeff Johns' Teen Titans, which was really good.
I love when Bart finally puts on the costume, the way that they introduce him, reading the whole library out and everything. I'm like, dude, that was dope.
Yeah, they have so many cool things. And, as a fan of the Young Justice show, it's kind of cool to see where some of those things came from. Obviously they pull from different areas of inspiration, but a lot of it came from that, which kind of is disappointing that the Titans show is clearly inspired by it, but took nothing from it.
Yeah, they don't. They get the cast. That's about it. Some of the cast.
Yeah, and it's really
inspired.
It's weird because Johns produced that at least the first season. I'm not sure how involved he is in the later seasons, but I was like, this is very different from the way you wrote Teen Titans.
Yeah, you definitely didn't write any of that. So next up, are you reading any of Sean Murphy's White Knight universe? Because this week they delivered a brand new one shot that goes with the current. What's it called? White Knight Beyond. So we're
Beyond the White Knight, yeah.
So Sean,
I was this close to buying the foil. I was in Midtown Comics and I saw it behind the register, and I was like, "Do I want to spend $60 on a book right now?" I was like, "I'll wait for them to put a sale and I'll order it online."
One thing I thought was kind of interesting about this, and it made me nervous at first, but there's a different creative team on this. You don't just have Sean Murphy on the writing and the art. You have Sean Murphy with Clay McCormick, which makes me think Clay McCormick wrote it and Sean Murphy just scripted it. Here's the idea, write it. But then on art, you have Simone DeMeo and Dave Stewart, which I love me some Simone DeMeo, hence why I just bought that We Only Find Them When They're Dead set from you.
Yeah. No, I think, that with that universe building out, he can't possibly be on all the books. I think the Harley Quinn, it was his wife that wrote that.
Wrote that.
Yeah. So I think as he expands it, and there's like cool little tidbits in the main story, so like you definitely want to see more. I know Rob probably wants to see a version of Duke Thomas get his own book in that universe.
Yeah, Duke Thomas. Well, I'll just say this: there's a lot of Bat family presence in this week's Batman by Chip Zdarsky.
Yeah, that one I've been reading digitally because I kind of want to collect the Jorge Jimenez covers. So that one, and the books I picked up today were all from Midtown, so that's why they were cover buys. The things I read are from my LCS, which is like 2 blocks away.
Do you read
so
Batman?
I'm really excited to read that.
Okay. Yeah,
I did skip
ending,
over. Yeah,
that ending though had me. I immediately messaged Bearded Comic Bro. I'm like, dude, have you read Batman yet?
Yeah, I mean what's it been? It's been a month now, but so when Tim gets shot in the neck, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was kind of shocking. He got better really quick though.
I mean, like when I saw he didn't die at the end of the show, I'm like, oh, he's fine. He also has a solo book coming out, so
you got to get better for that.
Yeah, but I do I like the new Batman, but I read Zdarsky's Daredevil, and they're like eerily similar the way he writes, Bruce and Matt in terms of like their inner monologues. So I was like, I've read this before, kind of, but I do like that he almost feels like Denzel in The Equalizer, where he's timing himself. It's like, oh, lost a step.
Alan wants to know if you got the Jimenez for Batman 125.
Is that the failsafe one? I thought about buying it because at Midtown it was only like $15 just now, but I just have the cover A.
I just went with all cover A's for those. One I did not go with the cover A. I did get one more ratio variant this week, and it's for a book that I don't even read, but it is from an artist that I collect all this stuff. Again, with that Jane Gang goodness on DC versus Vampires number 8. And they just announced yesterday that he'll also be doing a 1 in 25 for issue 10 with your boy Nightwing on the cover.
Yeah. That one, don't read the solicitations for that one, because that one is definitely a spoiler if you haven't read the book.
I've read one.
It is a good book. It's if you like Deceased or Injustice, you'll like this. Anyone could die at any moment. Characters in interesting situations. It's one of those things where it makes you want to be like, hey, like, why don't you just call this Elseworlds what it is? But a limited series.
Hearing Chris review so many of them, it gets me interested because of how many characters they actually use, even if just for certain scenes or just to be cannon fodder for death moments, but just getting to see characters we're not seeing in regular books.
Yeah, and I think sometimes maybe the editors there are more willing to let people use those characters in these kind of universes, because it's like, hey, we don't have plans for them, but obviously this means nothing because if you kill them, this is not the main continuity. And also we can't put them in a book because we can't sell that book. So yes, you can use this character in this capacity. So it is fun.
And next up, you mentioned Black Adam earlier, helping push the Justice Society. And that's very true because we're getting the series of Black Adam one-shots, the Justice Society files. And it was Cyclone that dropped this week. And this is the A cover. This is my reader copy. I was just down for the B covers, the movie photo variants. I absolutely love these. Don't know why. No rhyme or reason to it, but that's an awesome shot of Cyclone on it. So I'm excited to read this. The Hawkman one they did, it really, really opened up that world. Like we get like the whole dynamic with the JSA where they stand, I guess, at the start of the movie, or at least right before the start of the movie. Get introduced to Inner Gang and how they're going to be the primary, antagonists going on. And we know I figured out from the toy lines who the big villain's going to be for the movie. And that big villain is a demonized version, a demonized person from Inner Gang. So I'm definitely pumped to dive into that. Don't know if you're reading those or how hyped you are for that movie, but I'm hyped
for the movie. I think it looks interesting. And I've said this like on the podcast. Like I think I'm kind of a little less excited about a lot of these movies that have been coming out, especially with Doctor Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder being as okay as they were. But to see characters you've never seen on the screen before, it's gonna be fun. I am a little annoyed that, because of this movie that, like, we probably won't see Shazam and Black Adam fight for like another 5 years.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, I always liked that. I mean, even when I was a kid, I loved the Shazam Superman. Oh my God! I swear to God, if you talk about a Tom King book right now, I will leave.
So how about
I will
Tom
leave
King?
right now. Isn't Killing Time come out this week?
It came
too?
out today. Yeah.
Came out today.
No, but with the whole Shazam thing, like, I grew up loving Captain Marvel, absolutely loving him. I collected Power of Shazam as a kid with those beautiful painted covers. I grew up watching the old black and white serial that Tom Tyler starred in. But as time went on and I got older, that little kid mentality thing, I can't. It's not that I can't stand it; it doesn't draw to me like it did. Like him being a kid turning into Earth's mightiest mortal was awesome, but like my mindset is he has the wisdom of Solomon, but they just leave that off. Like they're leaving the wisdom part off. He's fast, he's strong, he's got the stamina, he's got the power, but he doesn't have the wisdom, just to try to separate him from Superman because he was a Fawcett character that DC acquired. He was their Superman. He was outselling Superman, but how are we going to take this carbon copy ripoff and make him different?
Yeah, I think it's valid, but I always as a kid loved those things. Like I loved what's that movie? I think it's called like Star Kid, whatever, where the kid gets like the alien suit and gets in it.
But I was a kid. As I got older,
I mean, obviously, but I think there's value in it. I think kids should have those things. I mean, we have a Superman. Yeah,
I just can't imagine watching him. Well, I don't know. Like that would also be like a great opportunity for character growth to like especially just think of the Billy Batson we're seeing in the Captain Marvel trailer for the new movie with him like still joking around, sitting across the table from this earth-shattering villains and stuff. Like what happens to him after like post Black Adam? How much are you about to grow up having to deal with that person? That would be a good opportunity for that, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I just love those things. I think Blue Beetle is going to be huge because of that. Having that thing, and I do think in the movies they approach it a little weird because the kid version of Billy is a lot more adult in his thinking, and it seems like
I think it says you have.
I mean, it's a great movie.
Act like a kid.
Yeah, they don't kind of like their performances don't really line up. It's like the kid, I forget his name, the actor that plays Billy, is very much that Jeff Johns version of Billy. And then, Zachary Levi, his Shazam is very much that Golden Age version of Shazam.
The Golden Age Shazam wasn't a kid mind at all. He was tough and unforgiving and
definitely has a smile
character. Though. Yeah. I give the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle kind of like almost like a Spider-Man personality, can be quirky at times and everything, but he's a little bit more serious.
Yeah, and I would love if they don't give the Scarab a voice, because I don't know if it was in Young Justice or one of the other animated projects where people just thought he was crazy because you wouldn't hear the Scarab and you just hear him talking to himself. He's like, no, we can't kill them.
That would be cool.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that just immediately made me think of like that cartoony animal friend voice that you heard from Khonshu before you saw Khonshu, and you hear him talking.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. That was
I thought like it didn't fit Moon Knight because he's not a kid and he's a mercenary. Like in the context of Blue Beetle, I think it works. But let's talk Killing Time. I'm here.
Last book before that I have is Flashpoint Beyond number 4 of 6. For those that are keeping up a Dark Crisis, I cannot stress this enough. This is a Crisis tie-in, even though there's not a banner for it. And I would encourage anybody to go back to watch that Jeremy Adams interview, because I was trying to come with some telling gotcha questions. Since they can't answer anything, I asked them straight up because they mentioned trade dresses. I'm like, and just out of curiosity about the Dark Crisis trade dress, why'd you leave it off Flashpoint Beyond? And he just cringed.
Like what's really good about even though I'm not reading the main line, the way they've done tie-ins, like even that Superman book, the Mike Allred and Mark Russell one, is strangely a tie-in too. It ties in a little bit to Crisis on Infinite Earth, which I didn't expect.
Well, that was more of just a callback.
It's a callback, but I think the way the world is ending is really the crisis, because the year that the world is ending is 80 something. So I think it's cool, because like when I'm reading it, I'm thinking, oh, like maybe there's an asteroid that he can't stop coming, and it's like, oh no, there's a crisis event that he can't turn around. His Earth is really gonna die, and that was a great book. That was like my read of the year, honestly.
Yeah, it was fire. It was fire.
That was an awesome one.
And then lastly, because that's why we have Flo here today, because he's itching to even see the book, but Batman Killing Time, issue number 6 of 6, the finale.
It's finally over. It's finally over. That's why I came on today.
It's this day of celebration for Flo. What is happening? Yeah, it was a good conclusion to it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And we have another visitor here with us today. Hey, Chris, welcome home. Welcome home.
I dressed for the part and everything.
Oh, Canada.
I'm not showing my shirt because it's actually a Marvel shirt. So
that's perfectly fine. And then I did pick up some back issues today. So last week I met this fantastic guy at the LCS. He was roughly my dad's age. And he was sitting there holding a bunch of trade paperback of Jack Knight, Starman, as well as some old DC archives. I'm like, this guy likes DC. So I start conversations with everyone. We ended up talking for an extended period of time about Golden Age comics and how he's going through and reading comics from Action 1 forward in the order they were released, cataloging it all, keeping up with it and reading it. You know what I mean? Like, if he were alive, if he was born in 1930, and started reading comics when he was 8 years old as they hit newsstands, that's how he's reading comics, which I think is pretty impressive. But he also pointed out that as he's done with them, he's just going to pass them on to the next person. So I ended up with All-Star Comics Volume 1, the DC Archive Edition, All-Star Comics Volume 2. I got to find the little glare angle here. And All-Star Comics Volume 3. So I'm going to be diving in to reading the old classic All-Star comic stuff in order that it was released in, which Pops has these, but those are his. So I'm going to read these and then just find a new home for him, somebody who might want to read them themselves.
I would like to read them.
There we go.
Claim 1. And then I will pass it on to the next person. No, I think it's good. I think we sometimes get focused on the new things, and there's so much good stuff out there that you can read. Artists and writers that have been forgotten that really laid the groundwork to what is around today. So it's great that they're making that approach of reading. I've been trying to do that with Unlimited and Infinite, trying to read runs I've heard about. And
this is Gardner Fox. So he ain't been forgotten yet.
He hasn't been forgotten.
Yeah,
but
if you watched the first Suicide Squad movie, the building that they had to storm to save Amanda Waller was the Gardner Fox building. It was even a tribute to him in that movie. Yeah.
The rest of the movie wasn't a tribute, but
I love that movie. I honestly can see why people don't enjoy it in parts of it, but I love that movie.
I do love the character designs, obviously. I have my Jared Leto Joker right there. But
is that a hot toy?
Yeah. That is a hot toy.
I'll trade you that for this when I'm done with it.
Okay, got you.
Even trade. There we go.
Even trade. Did I tell you DJ tried to rob me today?
I saw that. That.
Yeah. I gave him the boxes, and he almost walked away without paying me.
Classic DJ.
Classic DJ.
Classic DJ.
Yeah.
I'm for this idea. I'd like to start a campaign to make the 100th appearance of a character a sought-after book. Oh,
what I would like is the first relevant appearance of a character being the sought after book.
Oh God, we're not getting into this, are we? Is this happening?
Mhm.
Cameo conversation.
Yeah.
Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Get any DC books today, Chris?
No, I'll tell you what's on my pull list for when I go tomorrow.
Nice.
Tomorrow, what? Canada's like a day behind on comics.
No, I just don't waste the fuel, man.
What? Canada's into saving fuel?
Yeah, Canada's much like the United States when it comes to expensive gasoline right now. I'll be picking up Edge of Spider-Verse #1. I'm hoping 8 Billion Genies, the second printing of issue #1, is there. Batman 126
Fire.
by a Canadian writer. DC versus Vampires, this issue #8, which everyone should be picking up.
Chris.
That's
Yeah.
what I told Mark. He's
Yeah.
not reading it. He got the issue, and I'm like, this is such a like.
I did it. I bought one.
I'm like, read it. It's a good book.
I'm not reading this copy.
You know what?
I mean,
Both the variants are fire. There's a Batgirl B cover for that, and it is fantastic too.
Is the Batgirl one the
yeah.
one with the crossbow?
Yes. Yeah.
Did she jacket from Huntress?
Yeah, a little.
Huntress is no longer with us.
So,
Spawn 22, Iron Man 22, New FF #3, Halcyon Legacy 5, and Dead Lucky #1. Hopefully it shows up.
Oh, Dead Lucky. Actually, tomorrow we have an interview with the writer of the Dead Lucky on the Bottom Boom podcast. So please listen to that.
What's his name?
Cool.
Her name, Melissa. But she's going to be writing Power Rangers soon too. So if Burke's in the chat, you should listen
Is
to
he
that.
taking it over from Ryan Parrott? Because I think he's ending at 100. Matt Groom has already taken over one of the two titles.
Yeah, she's going to be on 101. So that's going to be the first issue she's going to
Matt
be
Groom
writing.
is going in because they're bringing the titles back together after 100 to I think just one primary title. Because I was looking at solicitations because I read and collect Power Rangers and yeah, I saw where the upcoming titles are Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm like, thank God. Hopefully they'll just X-Nay the what are they called? The
Omega Rangers.
Omega Rangers. Can't stand them. I don't know why. Are you reading Power Rangers, Flo, in any capacity? Back issue?
I read the Higgins stuff. Like it was on sale on Comixology a couple years ago, and I was really into it. And I think the universe got so big, it was hard. It's intimidating to jump back in.
No, it'd be nice if they slim it back down. Chris, what else you got on the list?
What's that?
I want to ask about those toys, though. Is a video coming up, or are you going to open those right now?
We just came in early. I just opened the box. Like when I walked away.
Yeah.
Like how I got up and walked off and came back with this box. That's what just happened.
No.
They were set to come in.
I
And
I didn't know what that was.
Wow.
I love the back of those.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I saw someone, I don't know if it was on Instagram, but like the way they had their McFarlanes, they had them like on the side, so it shows the name and they were boxed. And I was like, that is so cool. You could pull it out almost like a book because you know where the toy is. I was
That's
like,
how
I gotta know.
On a shelf like this when the name's out. But yeah, there's the small version of Atom Smasher. Oh.
He's like the Ant-Man of DC, right?
No, DC is not the Ant-Man of the Atom, but the Atom Smasher is a Golden Age character who could change his size. So there's like multiple DC versions before Ant-Man.
Well, we got multiple Ant-Man versions of Atom Smasher, so okay.
Yeah,
also Ant-Man is just better.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Paul Rudd is an American treasure, but there's the big one, which is the one that I really was after.
They should have done a Build-A-Figure for him.
Yeah, well, they don't really like. This is bigger than the Build-A-Figure is. Like his feet go way down in there.
Is he bigger than the King Shark then?
Yeah, he's definitely taller than King Shark.
The King Shark Build-A-Figure?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's way bigger than that. He's bigger than this. I got a Build-A-Figure right here for comparison. Let's see. Like here's a Bane Build-A-Figure, which is roughly the size of the King Shark one. You know? These are decent sized
Speaking of Bane,
figures.
I got to say I was a little disappointed that Bane was not in the first Harley Quinn episode.
He was in episode 2 and 3.
Okay, good.
When you get to Nightwing, it's pretty funny.
Yes,
it's a pretty fun depiction of Nightwing, and Harvey Dean, who's great on What We Do in the Shadows, plays him. So it's the Bat family is huge on this season. So it's a good show.
I got it. When Bane shows up, I just smile. I was born in the darkness, but still. Yeah,
I love that the Dark Knight Rises basically turned him from a Latin Hispanic character with an accent to that Tom Hardy voice. Now it's like you can't perform it any other way now.
And I like how Batman, he's like, "What's wrong with your voice?" "Nothing's wrong with my voice. It sounds over serious. It's just the right amount of serious." And there's the Black Adam without the cloak, comes with some lightning accessories. So I had a hard time deciding which Black Adam I would want, if I wanted the villain, and if I even wanted the small Atom Smasher. So I'm like, I'll just get them all. The Hawkman needs a bigger box.
Yeah.
He
looks fantastic, though.
I wish they made the wings more metallic. It kind of looks like feathery from here, at least. Because in the movie, almost like gold, like mechanical pieces.
Finn's supposed to be chilling out like for nap time, and I started counting, and he started running. I got to 3 and just pattered my feet on the ground, and he turned the corner. Now he's probably going to come back in here, Sean Chinson again.
Yeah, now you got the adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, I messed up. It's too fun. He's fun to play with. Here's the Cyclone figure. This one came out really good, and I love this. This like her little wind effect is actually her stand. She does come with a regular stand here, but the wind thing, she actually can like put one foot down, and so it looks like it's lifting her up off the ground.
And did you get those off the McFarlane site or like Amazon?
Oh no, I got these off the McFarlane site. So here's the other mega figure from the set. We have Savak, who's the Intergang General. Oh my god, this one's detailed as hell.
That is a nice figure.
Can't do it justice. You got the pentagram scarred on his chest, the tunic and stuff. Like you see, I don't know if you can see it moving, like hanging loosely. It's not like hard plastic or anything, Wow. Awesome paint job on the eyes and everything.
Yeah, that one looks like the most detailed. I wonder what he's going to look like.
You know how you get that level of detail out of a figure, right?
Make a bigger figure.
No, you just keep molding it, and you just don't stop until it looks like the picture.
Groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah, that was Todd McFarlane's slighted comment in his blueprint. Like all the other toy companies are like, "Oh my god, how did you get that level of detail?" And he's like, "What do you mean? You just don't stop molding until it looks like the drawing."
We're talking about making it cheaper but look that good. That's what the other toy companies were asking.
Yeah. So here's one that I was stoked about, and I can't wait to get in here and try to kind of look over some of the detail, especially around the helm and everything. But there's your boy, Dr. Fate.
I love that they gave him no eyes. I
Yes.
think that's an awesome design choice.
And also the helmet's not symmetrical. Like if you it's gonna be hard to see any of this, but there's like indentations on his left side, and it covers his left ear, but it does not cover his right ear. His right ear is exposed on one side, and different indentations on it. So I think that's like not being symmetrical is a little screwy with me, but overall I think that's a really cool concept. But the no eye slits, that should have been done forever ago, just like the whole sight beyond sight concept. So about purchasing these, though, I did get these from McFarlane's website. There was like while I was on vacation, he was having like his week of something. It was like where he showcases stuff, throws out crazy killer deals. So they marked these down. They were marked down like $40 for the set. Then I was able to apply discounts to it, as well as get a free figure thrown in with it, which was the Superboy Prime figure.
Dude, they could barely give those away. Every store I go into, they have those Superboy Prime.
Yeah, yeah, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think it's awesome. I would have never bought it myself, but I do
No
have
one will buy it.
yeah, I do have McFarlane Superman stuff.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, this gets opened and given to the kids. You know, they have McFarlane figures and all that.
We'll give them credit for like the face, because like I feel like on the McFarlane toys, all the Supermans, even John Kent, all have weird faces.
John Kent has the weirdest face that they've done, period.
Yeah.
Now, this one, I'll be honest with you, the paints are flat all the way around. There's no texture to anything. And it's just, I don't know, it's an odd figure. This could really benefit from a repaint by like there's tons of like talented, what do they call that, where you repaint them yourself? Custom. This could benefit from like a custom
customizer.
Paint. Yeah.
When are they going to release a Vigilante? That's what I'm waiting for.
Did you
Where's
see
the
that
Peacemaker
custom one
line?
that I shared? Yeah.
Yeah, there's only like custom figures, and like that's the one I want.
We
Like
need
the
a whole
Teen Titans annual that cover. That's what
That would be good.
should be. Yeah.
the what was it? The Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. They did one figure from that movie. It was just Harley in the yellow overalls. So they don't have to do a whole line. We know that. You know, they've done hodgepodge lines before. That Superboy Prime came out in the line with like an Injustice figure, a New 52 figure. It was a hodgepodge line. So they could release just like Vigilante and Peacemaker. That's all we really. A Judo Master, that'd be cool to get like a little 4-inch figure from a 7-inch line.
But I'd imagine
Or
it's
tossed
also
in
like a
with,
money thing. It'd probably be more
Vigilante.
popular if they did a line. You know, it's a hit HBO Max show, and if they've already done a Suicide Squad one, I don't see why they can't do. I mean, granted, they could be in the pipeline, and I'm complaining for no reason, but
They're not here yet, so complain away.
So I just want one. Give us Vigilante merch.
I've got the Vigilante figure from the DC Multiverse line pre-McFarlane, when they just used to be like the orange and black cases with the clamshells on them, but you can't open and close those. Like you couldn't, like they ended up evolving them to a point where you could, like right before the line finished, and the figures they look like Hasbro molds. They just weren't very detailed. They're kind of blocky. They didn't have as many points of articulation. You can tell that they slimmed down. I can't remember who was even making them when it got
the only thing that was good about those, like the good ones, were like the Bruce Timm ones, just because the Bruce Timm ones didn't really need to be like articulated and kind of fit that format really well. But like if they did characters that didn't appear in the DC animated universe, it always looked weird.
You weren't impressed with any of which ones? There's a bunch of McFarlanes we touched on. I'm assuming these Black Adam ones came out ridiculously good. And you know, with any figure, whether it be Hasbro or I think it was Bondi that was doing the DC Multiverse right before the very end, because they lost the Power Ranger stuff. But these came out.
I have my Bandai Power Ranger Morpher right there. They used to make the best Power Ranger shit.
Yeah, the Legacy stuff was the top of the line. Hasbro hasn't even topped the Legacy stuff that they did. Ryan, what have you read this week?
You know what's on the top of that pile? Killing Time.
Yeah, I went ahead and finished off Killing Time, and I read Batman, Batman Beyond, Neo Year, and hopefully soon I'm going to get to The White Knight Presents Red Hood, and Dark Crisis, and Aquaman Andromeda.
Dark Crisis was phenomenal. Batman 126 was phenomenal. Killing Time wrapped up beautifully. Like that was a good ending to a book right there.
Yeah, it felt like pretty much a pure epilogue, but it did a great job of like tying together all the mystery of what was going on. So,
I like how much it made the narration all fall into place as well.
Yeah,
perfectly. That was really cool. Because there's overbearing narration in it intentionally because of who's narrating
and who's writing it.
He plays to his strengths. What can I say?
No. I give you guys a hard time, but I actually really like the Dark Crisis Superman tie-in. That was really good. And now that Killing Time is done, I could kind of read it all together. And I've said this, like the only reason I give you guys like Rorschach was such a hard read, especially monthly, that I was like, you know what, he needs a break from me.
People say that all the time because of the way that he structures his stuff. Like it's just better collected. I'm too impatient with this stuff. I need it now, kind of thing when it comes out. But different strokes for different folks. I think it's one of those ones like I read it because the little one was napping, Finn's sitting there watching the Grinch, the wife's laying down, like, dude, perfect. I pretty much have an uninterrupted moment here, and that you got to do a little paying attention.
Yeah. I like a lot of his stuff, like reading it as it comes out, just because I like being lost. That plays to my strengths. Keeps me engaged because I'm trying to figure it out. As long as Lost is entertaining, there's some times where people are like losing me, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't even fun. But Tom King always does a good job of making me feel like I'm drowning without like being bored with it all.
Yeah, he writes a mystery. You're not lost because it's bad writing. You're lost because that's where you're intended to be at that point.
When I finish Killing Time, I will show up on week's end and apologize if it's good.
It's good. You know how Tom King always loves playing with characters that are underused, like how he made Kite Man cool, and he like Mr. Miracle. He does Adam Strange.
Listen, Mr. Miracle didn't need a revive. I mean, it's a great book, that book, but Mr. Miracle's always been cool.
He has, but he's underused.
That's true.
But he grabs another random villain that gets underused, and this book is kind of highlight.
His Riddler One Bad Day book is out this month also.
Yeah, and that's I think it's like 8 or 10 issues for the One Bad Day series. It's just a bunch of villain one shots from different creators and stuff.
I'll read that if it's like a Dark Crisis like one shot like that. I also like Mitch Gerard's art, so I think they're a good team. I've been meaning to read the Adam Strange. I wanted to get it in hardcover, but I guess it's already on Infinite now, so I'll probably read it on there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It's a heavy read for content wise, like how Mr. Miracle was. Like it's just like heavy topics, like you're dealing with like the death of a child and war crimes and stuff like that. It's a tough one. Chris, what are you so happy about?
Oh, just taking it in. Just taking it in. I'm waiting for someone to say something about Batcat, but yeah.
The series that's been going on since before the pandemic.
It's over.
It's been the longest 12 issues of my life.
Yeah, that one's finished.
I like the whole Phantasm tie into that one. That was probably my highlight through it. I know that was like definitely later the second half of the series, but yeah, that was good. Probably my favorite issue.
I like because that was 12 issues. That's why it felt like it went on so long, because it was slated to be a book that existed for a year, but they also had a Christmas one shot in there, and that Christmas one shot, again with the one shots, the dude can do one shots amazingly, because that was my favorite issue, that holiday one shot that kind of focused on Selena through the years kind of thing.
I think I was getting the issues for that, but again, it was one of those things I was waiting to get all 12 issues to read it. Like I said, I give you guys a hard time, but like if it's all together, I'll read a Tom King book.
He says that. I'm just going to start sending him trade paperbacks now.
Right.
There you go.
Did he do Supergirl, or was that Tom Taylor?
He did Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
Didn't that one did it win an Eisner, or was it nominated? I felt like it
was
nominated.
Yeah, it was nominated.
How do you say
they got options, so it's like hyped up right now. Somebody was like, "Hey, we should make another Paul Blart movie."
What?
Is there something in the comments?
That mullet top. They got option for like a movie or a TV show or something, so it's been pretty big on the spec rounds.
They'll option anything these days.
Yeah, how much does it actually pan out to become something, though?
Well, an option means basically nothing. Somebody's giving somebody money to not shop it around to other places while they see if they can shop it around to somebody that'll actually invest in turning it into something.
Yeah, they
And then
basically
if they
squat on
don't,
the
then
rights.
they get the rights back. So optioning means nothing unless you're like into like comic book specking, apparently.
Then it means everything. It means quick. Head to Whatnot now.
Yeah.
Dump it.
Like how many novels get optioned a day, and you don't see anybody out there like, oh, I'm gonna trade and sell all these. Like, it's only comics for whatever reason.
It's because that's we've seen the shift. Like, like novels is where we got so many of our movies in like the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, like the Michael Crichton films, Congo, all the Jurassic Park, James Patterson. Like that's why
Everything
he writes his
out.
Yeah, he writes his books in a manner to make them easily optioned for film or show. That's what his shtick was. And now it's like graphic novels left and right.
Yeah.
Two Guns with Denzel, stuff like that.
That was a fun movie.
Didn't say it wasn't, but just saying, like that's how much like stuff is just pulled from comic books versus
Perdition Road. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably watch Two Guns tonight. Perfect dad movie,
Let's see. No, they're not taking it in a different direction at all. They just wanted to make some kind of like hollow hype announcement. I actually have it in my hand. Yeah. So nothing's changed at all about it one bit. And they thought that it would just be a fun announcement to say that the actual full name is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it's directly sequeling the original Crisis on Infinite Earths. And they felt like they couldn't say it sooner because it would have been a spoiler, but that's actually just hogwash. They wanted to generate some kind of talk on it was all. But the series is still going, and this issue is actually super strong because who cares where the JLA are, because the JSA are back finally in continuity.
The second printing of that is going to have Infinite Crisis into the title.
Yeah, so 1, 2, and 3 are going to have second printings with the full title on them.
Yeah, when they did that announcement, everyone was like, yeah, we know. Aren't all the Crisis sequels to Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah, right.
I kind of cringe when I see that comment a lot whenever DC announces an event like, oh, they're doing another Crisis. Like, dude, it's literally just a name to sell. It's like a branding thing. Like,
it's a branding thing.
Crisis has zero to do with any crisis or cosmic level event. Heroes in Crisis has nothing to do with any crisis or cosmic level event. It's just a branding thing with DC. I mean, if Marvel does events just like DC does, they just don't have a brand name for them. That's all. And then people that don't follow this stuff start perpetuating this stupid little saying, oh, another Crisis. No, dude, it's just another summer event. They've been doing summer events since summer.
Well, yeah, but that's DC's fault. It's easy to be like, oh, logo. Yeah. It's like, it's easy to be dismissive of it if you don't know, because it's like, oh, another one. Like,
So it's like, the branding that they're doing is kind of like shooting them in the foot, because if you go back like to the early 2000s when McGinnis was drawing the Superman Batman book, like the title was called Superman Batman. It was like the end of the first story arc or something where they defeated Luthor and he was standing in the rubble and he looks up. He's like, they don't know what's coming. There'll be a crisis. And that was the first time that they pulled it since the original Crisis, and everybody lost their mind. Like, what's coming? And they built it for years to bring us Infinite Crisis. I mean, it was years after that. And then they're like, dude, that actually worked like a charm. Let's try to brand these events and stuff. And, what was it? Metal and Death Metal don't have Crisis in the name. Both were Crisis. Air quotes there. So, I mean, it's just a way of saying
Dead Planet.
It's just a way of saying like, I wouldn't even include that one because it's really just a continuity involved events that affect the whole of their universes. That's what a crisis is. Whenever there's an event like Judgment Day, Empire, whatever you want to call the event at Marvel, just put Crisis in the name.
Well, the thing at Marvel, they don't do one event a year; they do 5. So it's hard to have one brand name because you'd use it 5 times a year. I will give DC credit because this has been worked up to. you know, I feel like with some of the Marvel events in the last 2 years, like what happened to Heroes Reborn? Did anything change after that? Will anything change after Judgment Day? Like, and
I think
this,
the
you
one thing
know,
coming out of I think they're doing Judgment Day just to get rid of the X-Men's immortality. I think that's the sole purpose of this. Like years from now, when you look back, when did the X-Men stop being immortal? Oh, during that Judgment Day trash.
I mean, they've
trash.
always been immortal. They've always died and come back. So
Not trash.
I read the first
no, but
issue.
that Marvel didn't have one that was somewhat successful. That did have a big build up, and that was King in Black. King in Black was the whole narrative was played out over a couple different issues or different titles, I should say. And other than, you know, Sentry getting ripped in half, which was a little bit of an homage to a different storytelling, and then Venom growing wings, it was okay.
These Crisis books we just mentioned don't fall parallel to each other at all, and those Marvel Summer events are just like the other any publisher that has the capability of doing these big events. Those Marvel events include when Marvel wants to use them and not shelf them because of movie purposes, your Avengers, your X-Men, and then the proliferatory characters that are popular at the time. That's how all these events have gone forever since they've been doing them. Like they're both companies are just they're two peas in the same pod.
Marvel just doesn't seem, when they do a big event, that doesn't necessarily seem to do it across every single title the way that they did with Secret Wars 2, in my opinion, which was the biggest, the biggest last huge crossover they had. Now they just select a few titles and have it throughout it, but Empire wasn't that good. That FF-based one, and
I did like Devil's Reign.
Devil's Reign was terrific.
If you have never read a single DC book in your life, like there's a lot of like meat on the bone, but you can go in, how you mentioned at the beginning of the stream, and just pick up the Dark Crisis books and get the little bit of backstory if you didn't read the build up to it, like how all events have like build ups to them and stuff. If you didn't read the little bit of build up to it, you wouldn't be lost in this. Some dude is juiced up a bunch of villains and he's taking out superheroes.
Yeah, just read DC versus Vampires.
Yeah, isn't that the definition of branding? It just seems like copying Webster's dictionary. Everybody buys the next iPhone because it's called an iPhone. Everybody bought a Mac because it was made by the company that made the iPhone. Nobody cared about Macs before the iPhone. That's what branding is.
Is this a serious comment? Because aggressively is normally like the king of nuance. But I'm not aware of a Mephisto build-up.
There's a lot of like fan Mephisto build-up.
I know there's the build-up for the MCU, but it was Mephisto that like the One Bad Day or the what was it called? One More Day storyline that they did with retcon Peter because Marvel doesn't
One More Day, Marvel's Heroes in Crisis.
Yeah, Marvel's Heroes in Crisis. It's Marvel's resetting of universe stuff, and it's where it broke a lot of Spider-Man fans' hearts. Separated Mary Jane and Peter. He chose to keep Aunt May alive over their relationship, and they haven't gone back since.
Yeah, but they've also tried to apologize in different ways for it.
Just
that would explain Renew Your Vows, right? That would,
Mm-hmm.
That's.
It's weird. I just wish some of these companies would just flat out say, "Hey, we fucked up," instead of weirdly apologizing for it.
We gave that writer too much freedom.
Yeah,
it was a good idea in theory.
Yeah, we talked about it. We tried it. It didn't work. Our bad. If Joel Schumacher can apologize for bat nipples, I think they can apologize for One More Day.
I still don't think One More Day was the worst that they've done when it comes to Spider-Man. But anyways.
Yeah, and as far as being tied in some way to other stuff, like they're pulling from history. It's like when you have like, what was it? Thor, God of Hammers, where Mjolnir came to life, and it was really just that demon from a previous issue of Thor 37 years ago. This is now tied into that. It is. Or if you've never read that, you're not lost because they're just, characters have been around forever. You don't use them once and done with them. They're pulling Pariah off the shelf for this event, and they give you a little bit of Pariah's backstory, which is included in the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
See, thank you very much. That's what I said. Like One More Day was not the worst offering.
Nick Spencer,
not only to find
Tom King.
Not only does was it just
go there,
There was they're twins. There's two kindreds. And in one issue, Peter just
If one was
annihilated
bad,
them, and
two
that was
should
the end of
be
it.
extra bad.
It was terrible, unforgivable. And we got some beautiful covers out of it, like ASM 55. But again, I've said it before. Like the best thing that happened to Kindred was issue 55's cover.
Did he also get ripped in half?
Who, Kindred?
Yeah.
No, I think Peter just literally beat him to death, and they were just. Then it was just over. And then we got Ben Reilly for a little bit of a saga, which was Queen Goblin saved that whole storyline, and now we're into Zeb Wells.
Oh, it's gone down too.
It's not to that level, but it's just they're just like, why, man? It's just like, why do they all have to like change the character? Don't change the character, change the goddamn narrative.
Yeah, I think that's why stuff like Superman, that space thing is so refreshing, because it's
War
like,
World?
oh wow,
No,
you can not War World,
Space
the Mark Russell Space Age one shot. It's like, it feels like very much like, hey, like, you miss Superman, don't you? You know, hey, he can be you know, that what people perceive as boring, you know, Boy Scout, and still be interesting as a character. And it's always good when, you know, a writer gets that.
Once in a while, it's good just to hit the refresh button. With ASM, why can't we have an issue where he's just chasing a bank robber through New York and then dealing with the fallout as it's happening? Like, just one issue where it's just like, we're just going to reset it, and we're going to take it from point A to point B. This is what's happening between that, and when we get to point B, we're going to have ourselves a brand new arc.
Yeah, I think
do
maybe
you guys
part of
catch that Thanos' real father being revealed? It could be a big C factor in future comics.
Hey.
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
I didn't see that.
What issue or what book was he revealed in? Because I didn't catch it either. My Marvel pools are super low these days. It's pretty much
Thanos Rises.
The Hulk books, despite them being trash right now, and all these throwback books that they've been doing, like Maestro and the Silver Surfer Rebirth. Oh, X Factor.
Yeah, I want to read Gambit. Because
I didn't, because I did not know. I picked it up. I looked at it. I flipped through it. I'm like, Claremont's writing this. This should be decent. Then I put it back because it was an X title. And then I found out that it's one of the throwback titles. So I'm probably going to go back and get it because I've been loving these throwback titles.
I will say, I really like Percy's Ghost Rider, so I'm excited tomorrow to read that. I've been reading it digitally. I love that.
Punisher, Ghost Rider, they've been both very good.
Yo, Punisher.
I haven't read Punisher.
Yeah.
Now, dude, that last issue was the one we've been waiting on.
I'll get the issues up to catch up on, but I love Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is probably my favorite Marvel book right now.
That and Punisher are both going really, really hard. And this new Ghost Rider, this is going to be like a throwback retro feel one. The one that comes out tomorrow. I don't know if you remember. I think it was like Ghost Rider 11. Like it was way back in the day when he was doing the little motorcycle race, and he actually ran into the Hulk during the motorcycle race, and he chumped the Hulk off real quick. But he's getting into a motorcycle race again, and we got like Moon Knight there on the cover, Black Widow. I can't tell who's up there higher on the cover, but
you know, it's like an underrated Ghost Rider story. I love the Battle World Secret Wars Ghost Rider, where it had like Robbie Reyes and a Death Race type thing with all the Ghost Riders. That was a really fun.
That was actually a good crossover.
Yeah,
or a good event.
That was a really. I didn't.
I heard that there was supposed to be a second part to that new Superman. Could have heard. No, there's definitely at least 2 issues. I've already looked at the solicitation or the covers for issue 2 because Steve Rude had a cover for issue 1, but didn't for issue 2. So I passed on the Steve Rude covers, but.
Yeah, at the end they tease a book 2, and then it's also on solicitations.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it might even be more than that, and it's a big book. Like
100
a lot. Yeah, it could work as its own like little book, but I'm excited to read more of that world. Groot.
The only thing about it is like I hesitate to like oversaturate with it. Like that's really cool. I loved it. I could definitely do for a second book of it, but like how many of those a year do I really need? You know?
It feels like a little bit like Infinite Frontier, you know? I feel like it could be something like that. That first issue works really well. You know, you could leave it, but it also could be its own little universe, like, you know, the White Knight universe, where
Yeah.
because there's some
Yeah,
other
I just
characters
think,
that we
especially at
don't
like
see.
100 pages, you know, like I could do for like 2 of those a year or something. Like, sure, it could be a series, but like have it kind of like bookended. So if I get one every 6 months, I don't feel like, oh, I got to go back and read the last one to remember where we're at. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, if it goes like 8, 10 issues, you're like, wait, I spent $100 on this, and it's not a hard.
I mean, yeah, and I definitely don't want like one a month or one every 2 months because
Yeah.
that's a lot to like get through whenever you have like all these other books coming out as well.
Yeah, but I wish, you know, in terms of DC, I think they do really great, like, you know, Black Label stuff and all that. But some of them are released so inconsistently. Like, has
R.I.P.
Swamp
Swamp
Thing
Thing Green
Hell?
Hell. Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Swamp
that's
Thing.
what I was like, what the hell? That was such a good first
It was
issue,
so good.
and then it ends with a cliffhanger too. So you're like, oh shit, like,
That had
so
to
I
do
wish
with
they were
Jeff
more
Lemire
consistent.
in DC or something, man. We don't have all the details on that, but they announced that he was done writing for the big two and only doing creator-owned projects. And then, like the same week, they announced Green Hell. I'm like, oh, this must be his last outing, and sure as shit.
That was a
Lonely
really
City
good.
was really good too, though.
Which one?
Lonely City, the
Yeah, the
Catwoman,
Catwoman.
Catwoman
Okay.
after, after she does, she was falsely imprisoned for the death of Batman and that. Yeah,
That's a good one. As long that's why I'm excited about this Aquaman because it seems to be on a schedule. Like Aquaman Andromeda, like
Oh, Andromeda. Okay.
like
I was about to
it's
say,
coming
I
out
grab
on
all the
time.
Aquaman stuff. That Void song, I think I'm the only person in this hemisphere reading Void song. Just like I was the only
Probably.
person in this hemisphere reading Deep Target. But this one's
I read the first issue of that one.
oh, that's true. That's true. Void song is
And it was
awesome.
fun. I kind of wanted to read more of it, but I didn't.
Yeah, Void
So-
Song's only a 3 issue. It's because they did the Aquaman Green Arrow crossover, 7 issues. Void Song is 3 oversized issues with the Flash, and I swear it's a that can't be accurate. Double check that, Taylor, because if you check multiple sites as well, like Golden
August
Apple,
31st of what 2032.
different sites will have different stuff listed about it, and then there's actual articles online about how it got pulled. But I looked into it about like right before I went on vacation because we were talking about it, and I looked into it, and I even went to so many. I found new places that solicit comics that I'd never seen before, looking for it. Where I think it was, I want to say Golden Apple or something like that, that had the issue 2 covers on solicit, and the release date had already passed, but they were still there, like you could pre-order them and stuff, and just because they didn't update their website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, I know Jeff Lemire had said that like all of his like production wise, all of his stuff is going into hiatus while he goes to work on that county TV show. I forget what it's called now. Essex County?
Right. Yeah, Essex County.
But, you know, anything that he's already done is obviously still supposed to be rolling out. But as far as like actually making more stuff, he's going to be on hiatus from that for like 6 to 9 months while they do filming and he's on location and stuff. So that could be part of what went into Green Hill, but it seems like he should have been farther along on that before that happened anyway.
Issue 1 came out last December 28th.
Good Lord.
No, with the solicitations, like I think I saw that same Golden Apple posting, and I was tripping. I was like, did they forget to put it in my box? Like, is this out? And I was afraid to like speak up and say anything. I was like, I don't want to be that dumb person that's like, where's issue 2? And issue 2 came out.
I don't think that's accurate, Taylor. Not until I see something hit across the board. Not until I see like an updated something that says like the series is back. Because I saw those articles that says
here with it.
Like League of Comic Geeks, which is like the place I go to look at future solicits, has all 3 issues up as to be determined. Well, issue 1 obviously has as released, but the other 2 with their variant covers showing and everything is to be determined.
Yeah, it's still showing to be determined.
And no A covers showing for issues 2 or 3, just the B and C covers, which is odd. Very odd.
I didn't realize there was a 1 in 25 for issue 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no trade dress, just the small one.
What's up? Don't put your fingers in there. What if you cut your finger off? I'm not putting it back on. Yeah, that's one that I heavily miss. That first one was crazy fun.
Daddy.
Wasn't it Doug Mankey art on the inside?
Yep.
Yeah, fire, dude. Fire. You got your pockets.
Again, that cliffhanger. If it didn't end on a cliffhanger, I wouldn't care.
I've been saying that.
I guess that's why they put them in the books then.
And David Barron was the colorist.
You're holding my brain. Ow, you're burning my tummy. You hold my brain. Okay, my brain is holding. I have a headache.
Oh, goodness. That means you better go take your nap. All right, go.
No,
It'll fix your brain.
that won't work so bad if you leave it alone.
Okay.
If you use that capsule, if you leave it alone.
I want to mess with it.
And if you mess with it, it feels that flow.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
And it feels that
Chris, did
flow.
you watch the Super Pets movie? Flo, did you watch it?
No, not yet.
I'm gonna go this weekend. You know what's on HBO Max that I think we should all watch? The
Oh,
Milestone documentary.
Which one?
The Milestone documentary. It's based on Milestone. So all the guys,
Static
Dennis
hardware.
Cohen, who else? Who else am I
Dwayne
forgetting?
McDuffie and
Yeah, Dwayne McDuffie, that whole
Callan.
crew.
person.
It's on HBO
Yeah.
Max.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing, so I'll have to look into that.
He is into guys.
Is it brand new or is it
It's brand new. So I think they created it while they've obviously the last year they've had the Milestone Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all created I think in the last 6 months to a year.
I think, I'll definitely check it out. The last one that I saw was the episode of Robert Kirkman's Secret History of Comics that had an episode on him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to hop off here and go tie him down so he'll stay in his bed and chill out. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a good day. Chris, what do you got going on?
Well, tomorrow I'll be going live at 7 p.m. Eastern for Show Us What You Got, New Comic Book Day Hangout. Open invitation for everyone who's picked up new books to talk about or show the books they're excited to read and any sweet variants or ratios. And the day after that, I got myself a big old Walmart video all queued up, ready to go. And then Saturday will be the first, I almost said it. It'll be the first only slabs.
There you go.
And because the other show has now been quietly retired. Not quiet.
It wasn't very quiet. Just check Remy
Yeah.
Q Studios videos.
Yeah.
What not quiet about?
I actually contacted him about it. I'm like, dude, you went off.
Remy. Now when he's making appearances, it's still going. It ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, the best is it's like people who work at that company and they're
Take back the hub back. You know what I mean?
taking the day off for their birthday. That's some funny stuff. But yeah, Remy's hilarious. Yeah, that's it.
Ryan, what'd you drop this week? It's Tuesday.
Nothing at the moment. Things in work.
In my hand.
Let me see.
Oh my god! Yeah, Merton.
Toss it back.
That Merton was a savage.
I am working on something, so
Oh, I can read it. I'm just gonna, everyone screenshot that.
Everyone
Yeah.
hit pause.
Guys, we
So,
found the Zodiac Killer.
right?
He's alive.
And
He's
just
alive
down the
in
road from
Texas.
Ted Cruz. What are the odds?
Whoa.
All right, well, I appreciate everyone hopping on and hanging out. I'm about to hop off here. He's getting antsy and wants some attention. Tomorrow I have a McFarlane video unboxing, unboxing of the figures, not these, different ones. And nothing on Thursday because it's Thursday. Community Hangout should be on Friday. Looking forward to that. And then Sunday, as a reminder, the big members giveaway for the Ultimate Fallout 4 will be going down. And I'll also be showing off what the next month's giveaway is. I managed to pick that stuff up already.
What's an Ultimate Fallout 4?
The opposite of a regular Fallout 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The first appearance of Miles Morales. So appreciate everybody who's entered that. And again, consider joining the channel
You really
membership.
know
that?
And on some of this stuff.
Mark, it's being
It's a DC
hosted on
show.
your channel, right?
What?
It's being hosted on your channel?
Yeah, it'll be right here
Okay.
Sunday night, 9 p.m. So typically we do out weeks in and just kind of find stuff to talk about for a little bit, then go over some books. We want to do that giveaway and then review some books after that. Or review some books and then do that giveaway. I don't know, because I'm on East Coast time over here. So we start things on time. Everyone else is running late. So might do the giveaway on the back, and I don't know. It really also depends on DJ's schedule. No, I'm not popping that balloon. If we pop it, it'll be flat.
You know,
I wanted to
DJ's
be flat.
Eastern too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I said it depends on his time, but we also have a lot of
Okay.
viewers that are all over the place.
In more important parts of the world.
Are there more important parts of the
What are you
world?
talking about, man?
On other parts of the world, do they have this?
I just turned it on. No pictures? Oh, no pictures? Oh, okay, sorry.